after the break, it's all about girl power. Ladies, start your engines. We spent some time with the inspirational South African karting champion Fabian Lans.
We moved to KZN for more inspiration and joined a small group of men's hockey players who are all adamant to redevelop the game to new heights. Sinamgele futhi ku Sportsview. Fabian Lans is a world-class karting champion who is also doing her part to help the community. She is part of a developmental initiative called Kasi to Kasi. She has her own racing team called the Fabian Lans Racing, and weekly she has a group of enthusiastic karting drivers with her at the track. Here she continues not just to race, but to give back and develop at the same time.
Thanks, Sam. You know, I've been thinking, what does Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg all have in common? Well, that's except, of course, for the lots of money, the girls, and all of that popping champagne. It's all one thing, karting. That's basically where they started, because you need that kind of foundation to get up to the Formula One status. In South Africa, we have one of the best female karting experts in the country, and that's Fabian Lans, and we're going to be chatting to her. Hey, hello. Fabian, how are you?
And you?
Very good to see you. How did your drivers do in that race?
Some did good, some a bit unfortunate position where they started in, but in general all drove actually really well.
But talking about your mind fixating in, you've been doing this for such a long time, that must be the only thing that you know.
Yeah, it's like the only thing and everything I know is just that. It's like second nature. I don't need to actually think about it anymore, I just do.
Now, talking about it being second nature and just doing, you come from a family of racers.
Yes.
Does it make it easier, or is it more difficult and more pressure?
I think in some aspects it makes it easier to actually, you know, to push yourself, to get in front, because the mindset and the upbringing is completely different than coming from a non-racing family. When you come from a family that's like my father, he did really well. He won a lot of championships, and obviously being the kid of a guy that's so successful, a lot of people are question, you know, is that the daughter or the son going to be the same like him, or better or worse? And often my dad, he says he's very proud, and he says, no, you're better than me. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
Peter, you've got a wonderful, I don't know if I want to say successor when it comes to Fabian. What does it feel like being a dad and watching her race?
It's obviously a stress, you know, when you raise the kids, because you know what can happen. You are there, whatever it is, but I mean, I'm a woman in sport promoter, so therefore it suits me absolutely perfectly well, and she does a fantastic job with the kids, and that's where the future of motorsport is in the kids.
Talking about these kids that you're so emotional about, let's go have a chat to them. Let's see how they feel about you. Now, this is your pit area. Tell me exactly how is it set up?
Okay, well, we're based here, as in Zwartkops, which makes it quite nice for, you can just drive on the grid, on the track.
Okay.
When we go to other tracks, we just take our whole fleet and we go set up there.
What's nice, so you've got, is this like a garage area?
Yes. So we call it a workshop.
Okay.
So you have all your tools, your equipment, everything that you need to look after the karts, to prepare them, and to do all the testing and so on. And like some of the days when the kids can't be here, I drive the karts for them, test the engines, test the ratios and so on, see what works, what doesn't work.
How did you get into becoming a mechanic in this particular industry?
Okay. Mkhosi wako mungwe o ila introduce u Fabian. Yeah, now because I even to the go-karting. And then after that, got 2012. Yeah, I can make it 2012 up until now. Ona got a
Really? What's very interesting though is with karting, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Because a lot of times, you know, you look at the sport and you think it must just be a sport that men can take part in.
It's definitely for boys and girls. Either can race. Somehow more the guys like to do it. It's definitely a hands-on sport. Your hands are going to get dirty. It's a lot of hard work, physical as well. And then, of course, being a girl in now a sport that is now mainly driven by guys, the mentality is different. You almost have to start thinking like they think. when the guys actually look back, and they look back again because they see the purple helmet, I'm like, oh yeah, it's me.
Second take.
I'm coming.
Coming to get you.
Yeah, so that's quite nice to have that, because then I know they're worried, because they know I don't let them boss me around. It's like a domination type of play that you have to try and do.
Okay, now these are the cars. I see that some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller. How does that work?
Okay, well, the number 28 over there.
That's a little bit smaller.
Yes. We call that a Maxterino.
Okay.
It's just the name of the category, and the engine is a Maxter, so it comes from there. Okay. Now this is ages 8 to 12.
So you can start as early as 4 years old?
As 4 years old, yeah. So in the year you turn 5, you can start racing. So you can start practicing and driving at any age, really.
What made you want to teach?
I'm not too sure. I think it was more of, I used to work for a karting company when I left school. And I think that's when I sort of saw the other side of motor racing. And I always like to work with kids, especially the young ones, to actually build them and see, you know, where they can go. And it's sort of just one led to the other. And then I decided to start my own racing, like first a school. And then a lot of the parents were like, can't you just run us for racing meetings also? So I was like, okay, we're making a team.
And how's the team doing?
Very good. We've got 6 kids that race currently, and another 4 that are looking into coming, you know, starting racing.
I started racing because I like the thrill of speed and overtaking. It's a lot of fun. I think karting is also a really good way of exercising.
I was indoor karting and I really liked the thought of going fast and taking corners really fast. So my dad put me in karting.
Well, I had a passion for motorsport ever since I was young. I watched Formula 1 with my dad, and I knew this is what we had to do to achieve that level of motorsport. So.
Yeah, and when you go into a corner and you feel like you're going to spin out and the car just goes forward, it's the best feeling in the world.
Is it expensive? Let's look at this particular car. It's a little bit bigger than that one.
Yes.
So I'm thinking bigger means more expensive.
Yes, this one is more expensive. This one is what we call a grown-up kart.
Okay.
From here, the size of the kart doesn't change.
But I must tell you, motorsport is a fast forward in growing up.
Looking at it now, standing from the outside and watching your races race, do you feel a little bit more anxious and kind of like how you think your dad must have felt watching you race?
Often.
I'm just trying to keep my head cool, focusing on the track, visualizing the lines.
The kids haven't had a bad accident or anything like that, touch wood, which is really good. But especially when they do well, and I can see how they progress, because all the drivers in my team have all started with me. So it's actually nice to see how they've gone from 0 to up the ranks like that. And especially when they have a good outing and they're doing everything correct and they're actually going forwards, I start getting goosebumps and I almost get emotional. And I'm like, it's not even my child, you know?
What are the key lessons you've learned so far karting?
I've learned to be patient, also to be, you know, aggressive when need to be.
And you can't rush things, really. Consistency.
What is your goal for the future?
To race internationally, like Le Mans or Formula 1.
If you had one wish for Fabienne for her future, what would that be?
For sure, in her age now, for sure it would be Le Mans in sports cars.
So you think this is the right time for you?
And so some people say, yes, your age is maybe playing against you. So I say, I understand that. But from a physical point of view, I haven't felt stronger than what I do now. So for me, I can handle the car much better than when I was 21.
Looking at the sport in South Africa as a whole, you know, what would you like to see change?
It doesn't matter what you want to become, even if you race 2 years or 10 years or whatever it is, to give you a goal and to make the person or the drivers in my team leaders in their division that they need to do in the world, because the world needs more sort of leading people.
So from Zwartkops to take over the world?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Fabienne. It was really great talking to you.
Thank you.